this is the site of the old Hayfield railway station, and the train line ran from Manchester, and this was the end of the line. And on April the 24th, 1932, a group of men and women got off here and walked through the village of Hayfield, and we're going to follow their route and tell you more. Around 400 people got off the train that day and walked up to this point here, where a mass trespass started. The gathering had been advertised about a week before in the press, so the police were looking for people, because it was actually illegal at the time to walk on moorland that wasn't owned by you. One of the leaders was a young man, 21 years old, called Benny Rothman. The leaders of the trespass cycled here to avoid arrest, because the police were out looking for people. But they gathered. He stood up there and addressed the crowd before they all walked en masse up the road and onto the moors. We'll tell you more as we go. Benny spoke to them of fresh air and escaping the grimy cities of Manchester, Sheffield and other mill towns and cities. So after talking to the crowd, Benny led the group onto Kinder, where the plan was to meet up with another group who were walking over from Meadale, who'd got off the train from Sheffield. On a personal note, I used to do this walk every New Year's Day from New Mills, about 4 miles from Hayfield. Me and my dog would get up early on a New Year's Day, pack sandwiches, well the dog wouldn't, I would, and we'd walk up here. And I was just saying to Keith, this was always the worst bit of the walk for me, this road.
Are you allowed to do that these days?
We did get complaints about one of our other videos. It was cruel to the sheep.
It was cleaner water than that.
This ash tree by the sheep wash is said to be about 150 years old.
Tilly.
I think we're going to start climbing now.
Yes. It's a lovely day for it. Nothing like a fountain rather than a puddle. Oh, it's water.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Come on then.
We'll get our first glimpse of the wall for Kinder Reservoir.
When they were building the dam, they laid a railway line from Kinder just back there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We saw a Kinder station sign, just to bring the clay up to the dam site. You're saying it was going to be a masonry dam?
What's going to be a masonry dam, but then
The geology wasn't
the
right.
geology wasn't right, so it ended up being an earth dam.
Quite a steep climb up to the top.
During the building of the reservoir, which was from 1903 to 1911, there was such a number of workers that a tin shanty town was built to house them, and it had everything. They brought their families as well, so there were shops and a little schoolhouse too. And there's the first view of the reservoir proper.
And there's not much runoff, so it can't be full. During the building, the stone breaking and the digging was mainly done by hand. So the whole communities was brought up here, like Darryl said earlier, whole families in a little shanty town. And it was opened in 1912. So some figures about the reservoir. It holds approximately 2,289,000,000 litres. That equals about 916 Olympic-sized swimming pools. It's 282 metres above sea level. Its surface area of 44 acres. On the top of the dam, or from the foundations to the top of the dam, is 70 metres, so it's about 70 metres deep. And you're not mentioned in this bit. But the building down there, unfortunately, is quite a poor, dilapidated state now. And we were just wondering, wouldn't it be nice to have a little museum and outdoor centre here?
We backtrack just a little way so that we can get a better view. But the aim of today's walk, as well as tell you about the history and the trespass, is to get up right to the top and to the downfall for lunch. Might take us a while.
We've got all day.
Aye.
Come on. So we're actually following an OS route, and this takes us along the bridle path up onto the moor a little bit more. More.
The more.
Higher on the moor. I think it might be, look, it's a fair slog up here. It might be less steep if it's as designated as a bridle way, as opposed to the other end of the reservoir. But we'll see.
And hopefully a little bit quieter as well. We're beginning to get walkers.
Well, it's a lovely day for walking, isn't it? So
people still off
we don't have
work.
the moors to ourselves, unfortunately. But that was the whole point of the trespass.
It was.
To open it up for everybody.
So back in the 30s, the cities, towns was smoky, sooty, dirty, and people just wanted to escape to the countryside for a bit of fresh, clean air on their one day off. The moors and hills were all privately owned, but what used to aggrieve people was the fact that they were only really used by the landed gentry and the owners for a few days of the year, grouse shooting.
So we've just looked at the map, and this little headland here that we're going to be going round shortly is Tor Brow. So the dogs' names get all over everywhere. We go around the bottom of it. Tor Brow's up the top there somewhere.
We've got to get the word in there somewhere, haven't we? But stunning views. They're only going to get better. At this part of the walk, we're heading towards William Clough, where the story gets a little more interesting. So that's William Clough, and as the walkers, including Benny, reached here, they were met by a line of gamekeepers here to prevent them from getting any further and protecting the land for the owners. Scuffles broke out, but there was only one injury. A gamekeeper received a broken ankle. It later came out in court that that wasn't an injury caused by any of the walkers or the scuffles. He was actually drunk and had fallen over drunk. The walkers managed to break through the line and continued on up to Kinder Plateau, where they were going to meet the other group from Sheffield. Bit of a climb now.
Yeah, we start to climb now, proper. Up onto the edge, onto the moor itself, Kinder. And it's nice to see that whoever owns this, National Trust, hasn't started putting paved slabs in yet.
No,
it's still
spoil it.
Rugged moorland. What do you reckon?
Notice the dogs have had a drink of water. Must be due for us to have a drink soon.
I thought you said it was at the top we could have a drink.
That's lunch.
Oh, right.
Look at that view behind us though. Not bad, is it? The walkers continued upwards, happy, singing. Where do these two get their energy from?
They're reenacting these scuffles with the gamekeeper.
Who's the gamekeeper? Who's the trespasser? So they continued on to the top up there, where they met up with a group of walkers from Sheffield. No more trouble, just all happy to be out and free on the hills, just like we are today.
And this is the Kinder I know more of. Wet, boggy, muddy, and we're not even on the top of Kinder yet. Come on.
Go on. So I've been thinking, I think I was last up here about 35, 40 years ago. What about you?
Must be 45, 1970s, nearly 50.
The early 80s I was up here. Nice to be up again.
Yeah, it is. I've not been up here for a long, long time. I used to come up for the other direction though, from Sheffield.
Yeah, you've not done the Hayfield route before, have you? I've never done the Edale route.
No.
It's always been this route. The queen of all she surveys. The story of Benny and the rest of the walkers doesn't finish with them getting to the Kinder Plateau though. There's a lot more to tell yet. Just when you think you're at the summit and memory doesn't serve you right, you've got a bit further to go. You waiting for me, Tor? Good boy. Good boy. You are a good boy. Yes, you are. A very good boy. Over in that direction you've got New Mills, further is Disley, and over there, right in the distance, you've got Manchester. We're blessed with the weather today. We've both been up here before, different times, individually, with groups of friends, when the clouds come down and you can easily lose your way. Been up here in the snow as well, which makes for a completely different landscape, and it can be quite frightening.
We didn't quite follow the route we'd planned. That would have taken us up William Clough and along the Pennine Way across the top of the edge. We followed some paths straight up onto the edge nearer the downfall, but we're just about to get there now. And it's been a bit of a slog, to be honest. Might have been an easier route going along the clough and going up slowly.
When do we do easy?
Exactly.
I'd have been following a map. Would have been up Snowdon.
I think just looking across there, I think we should be coming to the Pennine Way. So, a well-worn track now around the edge of the plateau. And there's Mermaid's Pool just down in the gully down there.
The legend there is that if you come up at Easter and you have a swim in the pool and the mermaid catches you swimming, you'll never come out again. Never tried it.
It's too cold, that's why. Looking over to Manchester there. So that outcrop there is Sandy Haze, a promontory on the Pennine Way, with good views of the valley, Cheshire Valley I suppose. Or the Cheshire Plains, I don't know what they're called these days. Looking over to Manchester.
Well, we're at the summit now, and that's about the best view of Manchester we can get.
Is there the best view of Manchester?
I like Manchester. You don't like Manchester, do you?
I hate driving through Manchester. Suppose when you lived in Manchester, worked in Manchester, on a nice day you saw these hills looming out of the distance and you weren't allowed up here to explore, to roam. You can see why people did it in the end.
And they were breathing in smog,
Yeah.
fumes all the time, and they just wanted that fresh air.
Frodwell Bank looming in the distance.
You might see it glowing just around there somewhere. So you do get a heck of a view from up here.
You won't get it on video, but there's a plane just taken off from Manchester and it's just a white speck just in the clouds, just above the hills in the distance. But there's certainly not the air traffic that it usually is. Again, with this pandemic, flights are curtailed, so it's a lot quieter.
We're now heading for our lunch stop, and one of the highlights, always used to be one of the highlights of the walk for me, and this is where I used to have my lunch when I used to come up on New Year's Day. That's Kinder Downfall. It's a waterfall, and on a windy day it usually blows back because the wind blows up, funnels up from the valley down there. You can get quite wet, but I had such a lack of rain lately that from here, not seeing a lot of water at the moment. But when we stop for lunch, we'll add a little bit more to the story of Benny Rothman. So I found a sandwich. Nabs found a sandwich. He doesn't like waste. Lunchtime.
My lunch, not yours.
Yeah.
No. Go on, away.
Please.
Go.
Oh, what are you waiting for? Dogs have come before us. Good boy. So after successfully meeting up with a group from Sheffield, They stayed up here a while. Then Benny and the group of people who got off at Hayfield walked back into the village, where they were met by the police who were waiting for them. Benny and 5 other men were arrested and taken to the Hayfield lockup. But such a fuss was made by the other walkers that the 6 men were smuggled out and taken to New Mills police station, where they were held overnight before being taken to Derby Assizes, where they were charged.
Then they were remanded for trial at Derby Assizes, and at the trial Benny said, "We ramblers, after a hard week's work in smoky towns and cities, go out rambling for relaxation, a breath of fresh air and a little sunshine. But we find when we go out, the finest rambling is closed to us, just because certain individuals wish to shoot about 10 days a year." They were found guilty, and Benny was jailed for 3 months for inciting riot and assault. The trial and subsequent imprisonment unleashed a huge wave of public sympathy. Even those opposed to the trespass were horrified at the severity of the sentences, and that led to even greater interest in the rights of people to roam in the countryside and ways to regulate access. And following on from the trial and the mass trespass, the trial and the displeasure, I suppose you could say, led to the formation of the Code of Courtesy for the countryside, and that led to the Country Code, and that's the start of access as we know it, as the right to roam. So arguably the mass trespass led directly to the passage of the National Parks legislation in 1949. Which helped to pave the way for all the national parks we have in the UK today. And we've done this walk this weekend, we've done this walk, haven't we, really, because it's coming up the anniversary of the mass trespass.
Yes, and also the anniversary of the Peak National Park.
Peak National Park.
Which is the first national park opened in this country. So the Peak National Park was opened on the 17th of April 1951, closely followed by the Lake District National Park, and more as the years progressed.
Tor, come on. So this is the River Kinder. Which flows over the edge. But bit of a drink for the dogs as well. There's not much coming over the downfall at the moment. As Daryl said, the wind's blowing in the right direction. The water blows back up over the top.
So the walk became known as the Mass Trespass, or the Kinder Trespass, or the Mass Trespass. Variations therewith. Went down in folklore, as Keith said earlier. The singer Ewan McCall was up here as part of the group who trespassed, protested, and actually wrote a song and sung about it, the Manchester Rambler. And if you're wondering about those words that we spoke at the beginning of the video, they're some of the words from the song. I may be a wage slave on Monday, but I am a free man on Sunday. Another song was written in the 80s about the mass trespass by a group called Chumbawamba on one of their albums, and that was called You Can Mass Trespass. And again, it's about the happenings here. And as a by the by, very tenacious link there with the Kinder Trespass and Fairy Tale of New York, the famous Christmas song, because Ewan McCall was Kirsty McCall's father. We do like a tenacious link. As I switched the camera off, I was corrected. I didn't mean
tenacious.
At all.
Tenuous.
We do like our tenacious, tenuous links. And unless we see anything else to show you on this video, that's about it.
Well, we found this walk continues along the Pennine Way for a while, and then we'll drop off it and drop back down into Hayfield.
You can see where we walked.
We started off just down some cars down there. I think that's roughly where we were.
Yeah.
Just in the bottom of that tree line and up. And we zigzag back up onto that path that you can see going up there, then along the top of that ridge, back down into the dip, and then up, round, up onto the top of the plateau.
We carry on that way and start to head down at some point.
At some point. Who's got the map? Just come over the ridge. Another stunning view.
As Keith just pointed out, the moon's coming out.
We might start going downhill now. Which is just as hard as going uphill.
I don't know how fell runners run down some of these steep inclines.
They must knacker the knees
They must.
by the time they're our age.
Or a lot younger. It would have been a killer coming up this way. Really done a horseshoe around, come down there. Not sure whether you'll see the moon there, just to the left of that hill. So we've just walked down Kinder Low End, you say?
Yeah.
So we've just walked down Kinder Low End, you say?
Yeah. Now go over, dogs. Go on, now, go on, over. Yeah.
Come on, babe.
And you.
Me then. Will you show us how it's done, Rum? Yeah, you now.
This is where I break my leg.
Hopefully that's one of the last styles.
Okay.
Hopefully that's one of the last styles. Rum's just beginning to struggle a bit now, isn't he?
And the rocket's going to the moon.
Yeah. Bit of civilization now, coming to a road. Shouldn't be too far from the landing now, he says with a bit of hope. Landing, I can see a landing, I can see a landing.
But we just got to cross a river. The river's set.
So you might be asking what happened to Benny Rothman. Well, he went on, carried on working for different companies in Manchester after he was released from prison. He unveiled the plaque that we showed you towards the beginning of this programme. He unveiled this plaque. We're getting above our stations. He unveiled the plaque that we showed you at the beginning, towards the beginning of this video. But he also unveiled another plaque, which we'll show you right at the end. It's not one you'd really expect him to want to unveil, but I suppose it was part of his history. So one more quick look at the plaque. where it all began. Or where the trespass began anyway. The mass trespass onto Kinder Scout started from here. This quarry, 24th of April 1932. So we'll go now and show you this other plaque that Benny Rossman unveiled, and just a little bit more about him. So as the plaque says, they were held overnight and then charged the morning after with unlawful assembly and breach of the peace. They pleaded not guilty and they were remanded for trial, as it says, at Derby Assizes. So next time you're out walking the hills or on the moors, raise your flask to Benny and all the others who walked over there on Kinder and fought for the rights of people like you and me to have access to the open countryside. Because without the likes of them, we might not still be able to do it. What a pity that'd be, eh?